Simple secret. Don't do anything that other people do to If the world is telling you, you go this way, then you go that way. I'm not saying that be a rebel, but don't listen to what the mainstream tells you to do. You do come to do a certain task in this lifetime. We all have that. The world out there that we live in, the material world, might take you away from that path, but there is something called soul's calling. The knowingness is always there in everybody, but how to unveil and unsheath the knowingness, it's not that easy these days, because there's a lot of bad signals and bad muffled noises, and the reception is not easy, and parental, schools and societal, all the interference is muffling the signals. How do you manage to not get swayed by that external mayhem and the chaos? And how can we navigate through that without losing our sense of self? Your logical mind, that's a problem with quite a lot of us who use our head. Logic mind is not a bad mind. We need logic and we need reason. But what, and it is my own word, I call it project modernity, but you can unpack if you want, but what project modernity has done is give far too much of an importance and a priority to logic mind, as though everything has to have a logical, linear process in how you live your life. There's always some kind of a mundane chore that takes you over. The mundanity of life kills the soul. Fear is an integral part of logic mind. Fear and failure. I got to accomplish this. I got to have this much of income. I got to have, what if I fall sick? And what if It's that fear and fear of failure that forces people to go through all of this logical process. When you live with your fear of failure, where is your life? You're continuously trying to make your life because you're afraid to live. In my 20s, most of my 20s, my aim was not to really fulfill that soul's calling. What I tried was try to fit into the narrative. But it was a very difficult time for me. I really felt as though I was not true to myself. There were a lot of pressures, and the kind of work I did and the kind of circumstances and conditions and engagements and people. I mean, it's not a fault-finding game or anything, but the context was not ripe for me. But for every experience, there is a force and a counterforce, and the counterforce kind of almost brings you back into your path, the trajectory that you think you are not honoring. And that's what happened with me. I have learned to listen to the voice inside me, and looking for signs outside. So it's a continual dance. It's not just me, or it's not either or, it's both. I live for myself. I don't live for what the world is thinking of me. You begin to create your own rhythm, and you have your own orchestra, both outside and inside. And then you dance, and it's become a dance. And I just feel I'm truly blessed in this kind of a, guided trajectories of my inner and outer dance meeting. A lot of my own spiritual mentoring started at a very young age. My vivid memories are mainly in Kashmir and the foothills of Himalayas. And it was the most amazing time of my life, imprinted in my soul and psyche. You feel the presence of nature. You feel almost the helplessness of little people, the little humans, in this awesome, majestic terrain. And you get shaped by that. It touches your soul. When you grow up in that kind of a ecosystem, which is so rich and so abundant, you imbue that sense of richness. You feel abundant. You don't aspire for anything. You don't need anything because you're satiated. You're so full because everything around you is so incredibly rich. And there's an awesomeness in you that you never feel you lack anything. And that feeling is what guides you later in your life. That feeling of richness, textured with your senses, and you feel as though what is out there is also in you. So that our external sense of abundance and richness, the textures, the fragrance, the smell, the senses, everything is feeding your psyche and your soul. So you become that. Life is comprised of love and light. Imagine a seed in the soil of life, and it's waiting for the ideal condition to manifest. It is lying there dormant in dark, but as soon as the light is there, it just springs out. And then you put all the love and energy looking and appreciating and nurturing and enjoying that unfurling of life from this dark, damp soil from where it was hiding, and that seed coming into life. It's a beautiful, beautiful, energetic love. Until then, everything is hidden in the dark, moist soil, waiting for the right light and the right love to manifest life. It is an almost continuous thread that weaves us. I may take the form of this human body, and the tree has the form of a tree, but the humanness is basically life. And when we engage with that, no one is different. We are all basically part and parcel of the same life that flows through the veins and the arteries and the capillaries and the undercurrents and the overcurrents and that is the only isness, is life. I am going to be 70 next year. I'm healthy and happy. And I'm not going to be afraid of dying. Everybody comes with a two-way ticket. It's only this world that makes you believe that you come with one-way ticket and you never leave the planet. No, you come to go. So you make sure that you live your life while you're here worthwhile, listening to your dance and your calling, and you live that life, and then you be prepared every day, prepared to go. I'm housed in this body, but I am part and parcel of this much grander life and this universe and the cosmos, and that's my love. That's where I came from, and that's where I go. My granddaughter, I've been telling her that we're simply stardust. We're just a tiny little speck of stardust. And Muthi will go back to the stardust. So she said, I want to be a stardust. I want to... Yeah, we are all stardust, and we will be stardust. So what is it? This is like this body is like a shirt that you just, you'll dismantle it and disperse it and dissolve it, and then be part of the grander cosmos full of stardust.
Thanks for watching our film. Every story we've made is possible thanks to the support of our patrons. And if you'd like to continue to support us to make stories that explore the infinite beauty of being human, sign up on Patreon. Thanks.